Take a closer look at Yellowstone National Park and see how nature deals with disaster. The Marine Band at 200.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. We've more than a month now that we've been watching and in some cases living through the fires that have burned 500,000 acres in Florida. They are still burning in some places. But as we saw last night, even in this short period of time, there are signs of nature regenerating itself. And tonight we're going to take a closer look at nature's way of righting itself into things on a much grander scale. In 1988, there were devastating fires in Yellowstone National Park. ABC's Barry Seraphin is a regular at Yellowstone.
The huge fires that swept through Yellowstone a decade ago burned for months. Federal officials called it a disaster and denounced the park's initial decision to let the fires burn. Half of Yellowstone's forests went up in flames, a scene seared into the memory of those who ended up fighting them.
The noise from as the trees are torching, it's a churning wall of fire coming across. You know, you realize how little effect you can have, you know, on that force of nature.
"25,000 firefighters could not put out the blazes, but finally the snow did. 10 years later, scars still remain. Millions of trees killed by the fires. But among them, signs of new life carpet the ground. Seeds stored in lodgepole pine cones were released by the fires.
The cones don't open up when they reach maturity, but they remain sealed up, holding their seeds inside until they're subjected to high temperatures, such as you get in a fire.
There are now as many as 200,000 new seedlings per acre.
This place was not destroyed. Somebody came through here with a jug of Fountain of Youth and poured all through this park.
Evidence of Yellowstone's recovery from the fires is everywhere, but it will be decades and in some places centuries before the park will look the way it did before the blazes. That has not affected most of the park's fabled wildlife. Elk are already finding plenty to eat in areas scorched by the fires. And 3 million visitors a year are still wowed by the sight of bears and all of the park's other natural wonders. 10 years later, Yellowstone says it is still sticking with its policy of allowing natural fires to burn unless they threaten inhabited areas.
Fire is just as important to soil and sunshine and water in the creation and the preservation of these landscapes.
Scientists here now view the fires of a decade ago as part of an age-old cycle, with no more lasting impact on the park than a passing storm. Barry Seraphin, ABC News, Yellowstone National Park.
I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good weekend. Good night.